Been back in the gym for 2, maybe 3 weeks now, so time for a big update. Nothing's happened. I've only been back in the gym for 2 or 3 weeks, so obviously nothing's happened. I say obviously, I'm probably a little bit stronger. I'm lifting a little bit more. I'm getting a little bit more into it, enjoying it a bit more. And I guess if you look at the before and after photographs that I've been putting together, I suppose there's a difference, but it's all very negligible. Welcome to the real world. There is just not a huge amount that's happened. So what I'm going to do is today's workout, which is a back workout. I'm going to get that done, and in between exercises, just going to update you on kind of where I'm at and how it's going or not going, and why that might be the case, and what I'm going to try and do differently going forward. This whole series of videos, of which this is kind of the first one really, they're just kind of like real world progressions of somebody getting back into it. So my apologies if you're looking for, I don't know, like some sort of sexy transformation or something big and dramatic and exciting. The reality is that just isn't how it works. It is long and slow and tedious and boring. Yeah, there's a sales pitch for you. Let me explain my program. I used ChatGPT. I basically said, put me together a program based around push, pull, legs, upper, lower, 5 sessions a week, go. And it came back with very roughly what I'm now doing. I then took some of the exercises and tweaked them for things that I preferred over its original suggestions. And that's it, really. There's no kind of science beyond that, and none necessary either. I mean, goodness me, the amount of people I see making a fortune out of selling programs, the amount of money, insanely, I get offered, or did in the past, to sell the program I'm using. And I've just never really put that much thought into it. And now I put no thought into it. ChatGPT did. I just need to do some exercise in the gym, and it needs to be quite hard. I mean, I'm sure people are thinking, no, it doesn't. It needs to be calculated and worked out, and couldn't care less. So ChatGPT designed my program. Push, pull, legs, upper, lower. Let me do my second warm-up set on these rack pulls, and I'll tell you why. To me, it makes sense to train a body part more than once a week. I've done in the past, kind of bro split. I don't like doing one body part a week. And with push, pull, legs, and then upper, lower, I get to do body parts twice a week. So for example, yesterday I did push, so bench press, dumbbell bench press, chest work. When I do my upper session later in the week, I forget what's in it, but there'll be some chest work again. So I'm doing different exercises, but same body part twice a week. It also means, as well as hitting the same body part twice a week, which means I don't have too long a gap in between, it also means I can do more exercises. Yeah, there are things I want to do for chest that if I was to squeeze it all in on the same workout, it would make my workout stupidly long, by which I mean an hour and a half or so. I don't want to spend an hour and a half in the gym. So I like doing 45, 50 minute, maybe an hour workout, maybe, and then doing other exercises that I would have squeezed into that session on another day. So for me, push, pull, legs, upper, lower just works very well. And the reason I'm not showing you me doing these exercises is because I can show you me putting the weights on. What am I supposed to do next? Oh, I'll tell you what app I'm using in a minute as well. So I'm not showing you them because there's no value in you seeing me doing the exercises. There's no value. I'm not an expert in doing them. I'm not a coach, I'm not a trainer. I know from years of experience that the way I do them doesn't cause me any injury and allows me to get fitter and stronger. But that's all I know. Could be doing them completely wrong. Copy me. The point of these videos is not watch Mark and do what he does. It's never been the point. The point of this is to hear that I find, problems in my path to progression. I struggle with things. And those might be completely different things that you struggle with. They probably are. But knowing that someone else struggles too might be reassuring for you. It would be for me. It is for me to know that other people don't find it easy all the time. That's the point. How I do a bloody exercise is neither here nor there. And there's enough complete douchebags showing you themselves exercising on the internet as it is. Right, what have we got on here? 40. I will tell you something. I don't deadlift anymore. I used to. Never crazy heavy. I think I got up to 200 kilos, maybe 200 and a bit once. Every time I tried to go really heavy on deadlift, I'd end up hurting my back. Probably because I do the exercises wrong. So I don't deadlift anymore. I do rack pulls, or sort of basically a half deadlift. And people, I know some people have said, why are you doing rack pulls? Why not do deadlift? I find, touch wood, never hurt my back doing rack pulls. I'm just not going deep enough to be in a vulnerable position. But I do like the sensation of just holding a bar with some weight on. So the reason I do rack pulls, it is more, not ego is the wrong word. It just feels good, just feels good to hold some weight. And the reason I don't do deadlifts is because I hurt my back. Easy as that. What's this app called? The app is called Strong. Super simple. Put my exercises in here from my Chat GPT program. And it just, it's not very fancy. I tell it how many reps I'm doing, how many sets I'm doing. And then it records it, obviously. And next time, I just try and get a little bit of progression. So, for example, I've just done my rack pulls. I've got one more set to do, and I can see what I did last time. So what I'm going to do now is chuck on a couple of fives. It's going to be another 10 kilos, be 10 kilos heavier. Next week, I'll do the same again, or increase the reps if the reps start dropping down below 6 or 7. Because for the most part, I'm doing reps in the 8 to 10 range, 12, 13, 14, not a huge problem. Higher than that, too light. Less than 5 or 6 reps, too heavy. So, yeah, the app, Strong, incredibly simple, incredibly useful. Got Jen using it as well. I'm sure it does do some cleverer stuff, but I'm basically just using it as an alternative to a notepad, and it works very well for that. Okay. I'm getting little plug for Extreme Fitness. These are 5 kilos. I just had a parcel arrive this morning with some more 5s and some more 10s, so I can slap more lighter plates on. Because the issue for me is not having huge heavy weights available. It's about that progression. It's about being able to put little weights on. In fact, one thing I love is these. I use these a lot. That's a half kilo. I've got 1 kilo. I've got quarter kilo as well. The quarter kilo weight is like a washer. I mean, look at the thing. And it just lets me increase what I'm lifting by the tiniest amount. But of course, you increase the tiny amount every week. That's a tiny amount times 52 weeks in a year. Oh, they also sent a new adjustable handle pull-up bar. If you watch the build on this, the curve down on these handles gets in the way of these adjustable arms. So this is coming off later today. New bar's going on. So excited to get that up there. Okay, last set. As well as fitting that bar later, the other thing I'm doing in here is clearing out the rubbish. Got a skip arriving tomorrow and a lot of it's going in that. When I built this place, it felt huge. And the reality is, it is not. I've run out of space very, very quickly. So the clutter is going. Okay, next is pull-ups with a band, because I can't do a pull-up yet. Then I'll tell you a realization I had about why it's going so badly. Not going badly, why it's being so tough to get back on the wagon. Okay. Next exercise, one arm rows, and I'm using the Gym Monster 2. This is a new bit of kit in here, which you might not have seen before. I've actually made a video on this for Spedients who make it. It hasn't come out yet. They've still got to approve it, so I don't know if you'll see this before or after that one comes out. I'll tell you about this in a second when I've tied it up. It's such a mess in here. I'm doing my guitar lessons in the gym. No wonder there's no bloody space. Okay, I thought this would have a value, this piece of kit, but I didn't think it would really be a value that I would value. I thought Jen might use it. I thought it might end up in the house. I thought genuinely it could be useful for many people, which is why I agreed to make the video on it. I thought, where's my, here we are. I thought it would be great for some people, but not for me. It turns out I love the thing. I love it. Magnetic resistance weights. You have a little finger controller, which you double tap. It turns the weight on. You can do all sorts of clever stuff. So for example, I'm going to be doing one arm rows now. I can, there we go. Right, I've got 30 kilos on now. That's the 30 kilo weight on there. And it feels like it. But I've got it on eccentric mode, which means it's a 30 kilogram pull here, but it increases it by, how much is it going to increase it by? 15 kilos. 30 kilos, 45 kilos on the way down. And obviously you can handle more weight on the way down. So that's cool. I was doing, what was I doing in here yesterday? Oh, for my push session, I do shoulders in that. I was doing lateral raises. Had it on really light, I think about 7 or 8 kilos, that was all. 7 or 8 kilos up, but then another 5 or 6 kilos on the way down. Again, just perfect, really controlled, but then some real resistance to work against on the way down. I love it, it's really, really, very, very cool. Yeah, I thought it'd be a kind of, I don't know, just a daft gadget that wouldn't get any use. But it's in some way, it's in every session I do. And it's probably 90% of what Jen does. It is very, very cool. Okay, turn on, here we go. One arm rows, 30 kilo up, 45 kilo down. Oh man. Okay, let me explain why I think things might have been going a bit slower in terms of getting back on track than I thought they were going to. Because they have gone slow. I mean, I moved here November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Nearly 9 months ago. And I thought moving here would be the thing that would prompt me to get back in shape. Because it had been November the previous year. November 23 was pretty much when I stopped training. So November 23, November 24, living in Reading, no training. Moved here November 24, thought I'd get back on it. And it didn't happen. And I think it's because I think I gave up too much of my old self moving here. I had this realization the other day. I'd made a video not long ago about how living here has taught me that a lot of what I used to value wasn't of value with hindsight. Didn't mean I didn't enjoy it, didn't mean it didn't have value at the time. But looking back on it now, it's not what I would want to replicate now. The kind of, just the sort of, you know, have, want attitude that comes with, you know, living in the city and being a YouTuber and a fitness YouTuber. It's all very kind of shallow and narcissistic and just bollocks, isn't it really? I was glad to leave all that behind. But then, having left it all behind and kind of thrown myself into being some sort of weird fucking farmer here, I was then puzzled as to why I wasn't getting anything done in terms of getting in the gym and training, getting back in shape. And I realised I just left too much of my old self. And here's an example, right? I got no tan line on this wrist from a watch. This is the first time in probably 15 years, certainly as long as I can remember, that I've not had a summer tan line from wearing a sports watch, because I would live in my watch to have it on all the time. And I've made thousands of pounds reviewing Garmin's and watches. I mean, sports watches have just been a big part of my day-to-day existence, my job, my income, everything. Haven't worn a watch since I moved here. Haven't worn one. Went to London a couple of weeks ago. I wore my IWC, got a nice watch to go to London. Really just hoping that one of those kind of scroty little kids would try and mug me. No such luck. Haven't worn a watch. And not that I want to, but it just sums it up, doesn't it? I gave up that old fitness YouTuber, complete bollocks lifestyle. I threw the baby out with the bathwater. That's what I did. I threw the sports watch out with the douchebagginess. And I've got to get some of it back because this, being in a gym, especially with a focus on trying to make yourself look good, is superficial bollocks. There is no other way of describing it. If you were shipwrecked somewhere, I've got another set to do. Hold that thought. Okay, so you're shipwrecked, or whatever, post-apocalyptic world, you're the only person left alive. You might still exercise. You might well still exercise. Will Smith did in I Am Legend on the treadmill. So you're going to still exercise because you want to be fit and healthy. That makes perfect sense. But you're not going to train to look a certain way. I mean, all the people on YouTube and Instagram that say, you know, oh, I'm training this way for me, I'm lifting weights for me. I care, it's for how I look to me. No, it's not. No, it's not, because put yourself on a desert island, suddenly you don't care how you look because no one else can see you. So if no one can see you, you're going to train in a completely different way. So you need to accept that there is a degree of superficial, egotistical, narcissistic, all sorts of long words that are beyond me right now. There's an element of that to it. And I need to get a little bit of it back, because when I had a lot of it, when I had all of that, when I embraced it, I never really set out to be a fitness YouTuber. I just wanted to make YouTube videos because I like making content. I like creating stuff. And I didn't have any skill to do anything at all. And it turned out that you don't need a skill to be a fitness YouTuber. You just need to be able to kind of move around and people to watch. So I kind of fell into it. I never set out to be a fitness YouTuber, but I kind of bought into the fact that I became that, and everything that goes with it, all the rubbish, the attitude, just all of it. Anyway, I need to get a little bit of that back. Like, I've left too much of that behind. I need a tiny bit of douchebaggery to make coming in here and training and worrying about the size of my arms to make that make sense, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. Why does the size of my arms matter one bit? I don't see anybody here. Maybe I see the odd farmer. They're not popping around to see how big my arms are. My goats don't care how big my arms are. It just doesn't make any sense. Oh, do it for you, Mark. Again, but why? Makes no sense. The only reason your arms looking a certain way makes any sense beyond health and fitness is because other people can see it. I need a little bit of that douchebaggeriness back in my life, but it's got to be measured, because I don't want to go back to being what I was, because that just doesn't work here in this environment. I've got a plan as to what I'm going to get back, what I'm going to pull back from the bathwater that's going to give me just enough YouTube fitness twatteriness to make it make sense to being in here, but not make me a complete twat, hopefully. Okay, for those who really are obsessed with what I'm doing, rack pulls, pull-ups, one-arm rows. I did face pulls on the Gym Monster 2 as well. And I've just done, what have I just done? Curls, barbell curls on the Gym Monster 2. I'm now doing dumbbell curls with my adjustable dumbbells. These adjustable dumbbells, by the way, are absolutely amazing. They're made by a company called Assassin, I think. They're the Assassin Stealth dumbbells. I think that's the right name for them. And you can pick anything from a few kilos right the way up to 40 odd. I love them. Let me get these loaded up and then I'll tell you what bit of douchebaggeriness I'm going to reintroduce into my life. What possible value is there in training your arms so specifically, other than making your arms look a bit different to how they would otherwise be? You can train your arms for health and fitness. Well, your arms are being trained every time you pick something up. Bicep curls exist because you care how other people see your arms. I do not believe there is any other explanation for it than that. And it's fine, but it's a bit douchebaggy. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy a truck. I hope I'm doing the right thing. I need a truck anyway. We've got a little Peugeot 2008. You might have seen it. Jen drove the tractor into it the other day. We bought it basically because when we had a nice car in the city. What the hell do we have? Some X3 thing, a BMW X3M competition. I think that was the whole name of it. I say nice car, I hated it. The ride was too harsh. It was stupidly expensive to run for no valid reason. But anyway, douchebaggy. Nice car, sold it because we're moving house, bought the Peugeot purely to get us backwards and forwards to the countryside to view properties. The plan was to then sell it when we moved and get something that would be useful in the countryside. We thought we were going to need four-wheel drive for the winter and stuff. Turns out the winter here, we didn't need four-wheel drive at all. It would have been handy on occasion, but it wasn't needed. What we needed was something that could lug stuff about. You know, I'm going to the builders merchants and getting stuff. Well, I'm not. I'm having to have them deliver it because I can't get it into the car. The other day we wanted hay for the goats. We'd run out of hay, and we had to pay for someone to come and deliver it. I've got a friend up the road who has a truck, and she's often coming and helping out with her truck. We need a truck, and four-wheel drive, not a bad thing, useful around here. At times, you can drive into the verges and not get stuck. And I mean, four-wheel drive is obviously handy in the countryside. So I want a truck. I'm going to get a slightly douchebaggy truck that will also tick the box that means that when I walk outside and see it every day, I think, oh yeah, I'm one of those fitness YouTuber muppets, because that's my truck. Rah. And it'll just kind of make this make sense. This little world in here, this little gym, it's weird. It doesn't make sense the minute I step outside. I come in here and I feel like a YouTuber, someone that cares about how they look. And I should add, I'm kind of slagging off the whole concept of getting in shape and looking good. I do want it. I don't want it the way some people seem to want it. I mean, I don't, you know, the idea of kind of, what was I reading on Instagram the other day? You know, people that are, you know, it's about commitment and sacrifice, and I don't want to sacrifice anything. I want my cake and I want to eat it, literally my cake if possible. So I don't want it that badly, but it's not a bad thing. I don't mind it. It's like a big TV. There you go. It's like a big telly. Okay, I don't want to be one of those geeks that's online talking with other geeks about refresh rates. I just want a big telly. I don't want to be one of those idiots that is obsessed about training and believes it's what kind of makes them, but I wouldn't mind the big telly body, if that makes sense. So I do want it, and when I'm in here it makes sense, but as soon as I step outside it doesn't, and having a stupid ass truck on the drive, I think it might. So I'm buying a truck. And since I made the decision, I've been on it. I've been up in the morning, I've been hitting my supplements. I'll do a thing on my supplements at some point, the things I'm taking. I'm eating right. I'm not having too many chocolate chips in my protein shake. I'm doing the Ninja smoothies. I've been in here every day, apart from the days off that have been planned. I mean, I've been sticking to it. I've been sticking to it. I might even start wearing a watch again. What else to talk about? That's pretty much it. I'm back on track. I'm getting a truck. I'm loving the Gym Monster 2. Things are moving in the right direction. Slowly, but they are moving. Oh, and people do ask about cardio. I'm cycling. I don't cycle on Zwift under my official Mark Lewis account. Just in case you think, no, you're not. I am on the bike. I'm just not using that account at the moment for my own reasons, and I'm not running. That was the other thing I was going to mention. I'm no longer running. A lot of people keep asking me, you're going to do more running content. I might never run again. I'm going to do a separate video on it entirely. I loved running. Running got me here. Everything I have. Gym, wife, property, the truck that's going to be arriving soon. Everything is because I ran. My health, possibly my life. Love it, would recommend it. If I was going back in time, I'd do it again. But for me, now and the foreseeable future, and possibly forever, I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I'll explain in a separate video. Okay, I'm out of here. Got to tidy up, got to get this rubbish in the skip that's going to go in the skip. And tomorrow is legs.